Have you ever felt that the world tries, little by little, to dim who you are? With criticisms disguised as advice, judging glances, hurtful words, or heavy silences? If so, remember this. You are not alone, and most importantly, your light doesn't depend on anyone's approval. The ancient Stoics understood this deeply. They learned to keep their spark alive even amidst chaos, pain, and rejection. For them, true light comes from within, from virtue, discipline, and serenity in the face of the inevitable. Epictetus, who began his life as a slave, said, "No one is free unless he is master of himself." Today we'll dive into 12 Stoic attitudes that will show you how to keep your light lit, no matter what happens. Lessons for anyone wanting to live with strength, dignity, and purpose. Because when you grow strong within, the world no longer has the power to extinguish you. To mark this moment of change, I invite you to do something simple but powerful for anyone ready to start their transformation. Write in the comments of this video, "I am my own light." Let this be your firm commitment, your anchor amid the uncertain, your declaration of emotional independence. Because when you choose to shine from the inside, no darkness outside can overpower you. Let's begin. 1. The most powerful light is the one that depends on no one. True light is born within. There is a light that never goes out, no matter the weather, the losses, or the words of others. It doesn't need to be fueled by applause, attention, or recognition. It is a silent, steady, and stable light. And its greatest power is that it depends on no one. The most powerful light is the one that comes from within, that doesn't waver with external approval, that doesn't need witnesses to shine, that stays lit even when no one sees it. It's easy to rely on a gesture, a word, a result from someone else. It's easy to build your mood upon what happens outside. But in doing so, you give away your power. You make your peace conditional, unstable, fragile. So be your own source of stability. Don't cling to what changes. Don't build your value on things beyond your control. Because everything external can vanish, and if your balance lies there, it will go too. Instead, when you sustain yourself from within, everything changes. You stop being a leaf blown by the wind and become a root that doesn't move with every breeze. That solidity builds itself during moments when there seems to be no reason to smile. But you choose not to lose yourself. On days when everything invites you to give up, you decide to continue. And that's when you train the light that no one can extinguish. Do not base your joy on the external. Do not leave your well-being in others' hands, neither people, nor goals, nor circumstances you can't control. Because when something external fails, and sooner or later it will, you shouldn't feel like your world is collapsing. What no one can give you, no one can take from you. This includes peace, dignity, confidence, and clarity. All of that is born in you. It can be shared, yes, but it cannot be gifted or stolen. When you truly understand this, you free yourself. Free from the need to please, to belong, free from the need to wait, to act. Shining from within is freedom. It's knowing you don't need to stand out to be complete. You don't need validation to know you are worthy. You don't need permission to feel good about yourself. Marcus Aurelius knew this. He said that the soul grows stronger when it focuses on what depends on it. And your light depends on you. How you think, how you choose to act, what you decide to let go of, not on what others do or say. Epictetus taught that whoever masters themselves is invincible, and that mastery begins when you stop searching outside for what has always been within. Because no one can give you stability if you don't give it to yourself. No one can fill you if you don't take responsibility for your own emptiness. No one can. 2. Your worth is non-negotiable. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your worth by others' opinions. A critical glance, a negative comment, a rejection. All seem so heavy, as if they defined who you are. But the truth is that your worth isn't hanging on approval or disapproval from others. It's something born within you, regardless of what others think or say. When your self-esteem depends on external judgment, you hand over your peace and confidence to people and situations beyond your control. And as we know, the world is unpredictable and often unfair. Have you noticed how someone's words can change your day? A momentary compliment can lift you, while a passing criticism can shake your ground. That happens because unconsciously we place our value outside ourselves, expecting the world to validate who we are. But Stoic philosophy shows us a different path. For the Stoics, the only evaluation that truly matters is our own, the one made by a calm, honest, and upright conscience, not the opinion of the crowd, nor the fleeting judgment of those who don't know our journey. Seneca, one of the great Stoic masters, taught that true honor depends not on applause but on character. You may be ignored, misunderstood, even attacked, but none of that diminishes who you are inside. This understanding brings immense freedom. When you stop clinging so much to what others think, you begin to act with authenticity, guided by your values, not by the need to please. And that doesn't mean becoming insensitive or indifferent. It means building internal resilience, learning to filter helpful feedback and reject attacks that don't reflect your truth. It means knowing how to listen without losing your essence. Remember, other people's judgments say far more about them than about you. Often their critiques reveal their insecurities, prejudices, or limitations, not your reality. By embracing that your worth doesn't depend on external approval, you gain an invisible yet powerful force. No word, gesture, or look can weaken your self-esteem if you've built it from the inside out. This is a milestone that demands practice and courage. Every day brings challenges trying to pull you away from your essence. An unexpected criticism, a confrontation, a rejection. But each time you stand firm, you reaffirm your freedom. So make this principle a commitment to yourself. Your worth does not depend on others' judgment. When this truth takes root in your mind, you'll feel lighter, more confident, more whole. Your light will shine without fear, knowing you don't need approval to exist. From that place, you can focus on what truly matters: growing, learning, acting with purpose, free from the burden of fear of judgment. Never forget, your worth is unshakable, born from your essence, your integrity, and the self-love you choose to cultivate. 3. Your mission is with yourself. Too often we lose ourselves trying to please the world. We want to be accepted, understood, admired. We invest time and energy in winning external approval, as if it's the reason for our existence. But this relentless quest for recognition is a dangerous path. The world is vast, full of conflicting opinions, shifting expectations, and often indifferent to our true essence. When your mission becomes pleasing others, you lose sight of what truly matters, your own truth and personal purpose. The Stoics taught us that life is short, and wasting energy being what others want is a disservice to your precious time to be who you really are. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us to focus on what depends on us: our mind, our choices, our character, and accept with serenity what's beyond our control. Your mission isn't what the world expects or public opinion dictates. It's to be true to yourself, to act with integrity, live by your values, even if that means swimming against the current. Once you stop trying to please others, you start acting with authenticity, and that authenticity is the root of your true light, because it doesn't flicker with the winds of external circumstances. Many confuse this with selfishness or isolation, but no. It's actually a demonstration of responsibility, the responsibility to care for your being so you can genuinely contribute to the world. Epictetus, who was born a slave and became a renowned Stoic philosopher, taught that the only thing we have full control over is our will and our inner choices. Everything else, what people think, events that happen, the outcomes of our actions, is beyond our reach. When we grasp this, the pressure to be everything for everyone vanishes. You stop trying to control the uncontrollable and instead turn your energy to what can truly transform your life, your own growth and discipline. Fulfilling your mission means acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, the stoic virtues that guide us to live in harmony with ourselves and the world, and to maintain focus on what's essential. Even when distractions, criticisms, and rejections try to derail you, the solution is choosing inner peace amid external chaos. Knowing that the world may be indifferent, but you can choose how to respond. Each step toward your personal mission strengthens your light. You become less vulnerable to others' opinions, more centered and resilient in the face of adversity. That strength is built through daily, small decisions. Saying no when honesty demands it, even if it hurts. Persisting when everything tells you to quit. Your mission is a commitment to yourself, a journey to discover and cultivate the best version of who you are, no matter what happens outside. When you embrace that responsibility, something powerful happens. You break free from anxiety, fear of judgment, and the need for constant approval. You become the master of your light, capable of shining even in spaces that don't recognize your value. Always remember, your mission is with yourself, not with the world. The world may try to pull you off course, but only you decide how far you'll let it. Don't wait for the world to understand or support your journey. Your commitment must be to your integrity, your truth, and your growth. Only then will your light be strong, steady, and genuine, capable of illuminating not just your life, but the path of those who cross yours. 4. What you build within can't be taken away. We live in a world where everything around us is temporary and constantly changing. Material possessions can be lost, relationships can end, and even respect or admiration from others can disappear in an instant. But there is something within you that is unshakable, what you have built inside yourself through effort, discipline, and wisdom no one can take away. This inner construction is the true fortress of the human spirit. It's made of solid values, firm principles of self-control, and a mind trained to face challenges without breaking. It's the reflection of your integrity and your commitment to yourself, which remains intact even in the midst of the strongest storms. The Stoics understood that true power and freedom come from self-mastery, not external things. Epictetus said, "No one can harm us unless we allow it." And this phrase remains one of the greatest lessons for those seeking to live with serenity. Our inner peace depends solely on what we choose to accept. Imagine a house built on rock. No matter how violent the storms or winds are, as long as the foundation is solid, the house stands firm. Your inner fortress is that stable base supporting you in any adversity. But this foundation isn't built overnight. It's the result of daily work made of conscious choices, constant self-control, reflection, and practice of virtues. It is through repeating these actions, even when no one sees, that your soul gains strength. When life brings unexpected losses, whether a job, a relationship, or a dream, your inner light may seem dimmed. But what is built on true foundation doesn't fade. Even on the hardest days, your essence remains steady, ready to rise again. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors and philosophers, advised focusing efforts on what is within our control and accepting what is not. This attitude frees your mind from unnecessary anguish and protects your inner light from external storms. No malicious criticism, no injustice suffered, no failure should have the power to destroy what you have built inside. Your dignity, your sense of purpose, your courage, and your resilience are inviolable treasures. Acknowledging that this strength lies within you is the first step to breaking free from the fear of loss and dependence on what is external. When you choose to invest in what truly matters, your wisdom, self-control, integrity, and freedom, you create something real and lasting. By strengthening what's inside, you build a solid, unshakable life capable of withstanding change, storms, and even abandonment. Because your light depends not on what you possess, but on who you are. This is the Stoic invitation: to build and protect that which no one can take away, so that even in adversity you remain whole, integral, and strong. This inner strength not only protects you, but also inspires those around you, showing that true freedom lies in self-mastery. So, every day, choose to cultivate and defend the most precious thing within you, your inner light that no external power can extinguish. 5. Silence is also light. Amid the constant noise of the world, opinions, pressures, distractions, your inner light can weaken if it doesn't find space to breathe. Silence, often underestimated, is essential food for that light to shine strong and steady. We live in an era of endless stimuli. Social media, messages, sounds, and information speed by. It's easy to feel mentally overwhelmed, exhausted, and confused. And in those conditions, our inner light gets lost in the noise and hurry. That's why learning to cultivate silence is fundamental to reclaiming balance and clarifying the soul's glow. Silence doesn't mean simply closing your mouth or distancing yourself from others. It means creating real moments of connection with yourself, reserving space to hear your inner voice, to notice your emotions, thoughts, and values without external interference. For the Stoics, practicing internal quiet strengthens both mind and soul. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasized the importance of seeking calm within, even amid the fiercest storms. This silence is not emptiness, but a fertile ground where clarity and wisdom can grow. When you find this silence, you begin to distinguish what truly deserves your attention from transient noise. Unfounded criticism, exaggerated worries, anxieties trying to control your heart. In that silence, your inner light finds nourishment to grow. Without pauses for reflection, mental and emotional fatigue take hold, weakening your glow and ability to act serenely. Silence is an act of courage in times of excess, an act of resistance against pressure to stay always connected, to answer instantly, to show immediate results. By cultivating silence, you build an inner fortress where your light can be protected and strengthened. This sacred space allows you to regain energy, reorder your priorities, and renew your purpose. Furthermore, silence helps build a stoic posture toward life, learning to observe things as they are without being swayed by uncontrolled emotions or fear of judgment. When the mind is silent, you develop the capacity to choose your responses instead of reacting impulsively. This conscious choice strengthens your autonomy and keeps your light lit, even in adversity. It's not easy to find true silence in the rush of daily life, but it is both possible and necessary. Schedule moments alone, away from digital noise and social distraction. Practice meditation, silent walks, write down your thoughts, or simply breathe deeply and observe your inner world. These moments are like wells of fresh water, hydrating a tired soul and nourishing your inner light. Without them, your brightness risks being slowly extinguished, smothered by frantic pace and external voices. Remember, the light you wish to protect isn't built only on action and movement, but also on pause and silence. True strength is born at this intersection. Silence isn't emptiness, it is full presence, a space where you find yourself, your strength, your wisdom, and your peace. Cultivating silence is cultivating yourself. It is feeding the light that no one can extinguish. 6. Firmness comes from integrity. Maintain your integrity in every situation. Integrity is one of life's greatest challenges. It's easy to be integral when everything is calm, when things go your way, and people approve of your choices. But true integrity is tested when circumstances change, when we face adversity, external pressures, temptations, or criticism. Integrity is the invisible thread connecting your actions to your character and deepest values. It ensures that, regardless of circumstances, you remain true to yourself, unbowed by fear or convenience. The Stoics taught that virtue is the only true good, and integrity is its daily manifestation. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, and those thoughts can only be pure if your mind stays aligned with your principles. By maintaining integrity, you create a shield against the world's instability. No matter what happens, a crisis at work, personal conflict, injustice, your soul remains steady because you don't rely on
Integrity demands awareness and courage. It's about recognizing when something threatens your values and choosing to act aligned even when it's difficult, lonely, or unpopular. It doesn't mean rigid inflexibility. Rather, it's being firm in principles while remaining open to dialogue and growth. Epictetus said, "Freedom begins when the need to please others ends." By maintaining your integrity, you gain that freedom, the freedom to be authentic and live in harmony with yourself. You'll often feel pressure to give in, to adapt to external expectations, to avoid conflict. But yielding at the expense of integrity extinguishes your light. It kills the spark only you can keep alive. Practice self-awareness. Observe your actions, thoughts, and decisions. Ask yourself, am I acting according to my values? Am I being true to myself? Integrity is a habit strengthened by daily practice. Each choice that aligns builds a foundation for a life of dignity and self-respect. When integrity guides you, you earn respect and trust, not by force or imposition, but through authenticity. Remember, your integrity is your greatest asset, and no one can take it from you unless you allow it. In every scenario, stand firm in your truth. That is the light no one can extinguish. Virtue is the best response. Often we face situations that trigger intense emotions, anger, fear, frustration. In those moments, the automatic reaction is impulsivity. But Stoics show us a different way. Respond with virtue, mindfully and with balance. A reaction is instinctive and sudden. It may bring temporary relief, but rarely resolves conflicts or strengthens character. Impulsive responses can unleash consequences beyond our control, harming ourselves and others. On the other hand, responding with virtue requires self-control, reflection, and wisdom. It means choosing justice, courage, temperance, and prudence, the virtues Stoics valued for a fulfilling life. A conscious response transforms crises into opportunities for growth, strengthening your soul and inspiring others. Epictetus taught that we're disturbed not by things themselves, but by our opinions about them. This reminder shows that, though we can't control external situations, we can control our interpretations and reactions. That awareness is the first step toward freedom from fleeting emotions. By practicing a virtuous response, you create a gap, however small, between stimulus and reaction. In that gap lies true human freedom, the freedom to choose action guided by reason, not impulse. Responding with virtue doesn't mean passivity or tolerating injustice. It means acting firmly, yet with clarity, respect, and calm. True strength lies not in outbursts, but in control and the wisdom to transform conflict into learning. Imagine a warrior who, when attacked, stays calm and chooses strategy, not blind force. That is the person who responds with virtue. someone who masters emotions and acts according to principles, even when chaos surrounds them. Besides strengthening character, responding virtuously fosters healthier relationships. Impulsive reactions often spark conflict and alienate allies. Acting with calm wisdom attracts respect and trust, signaling maturity and confidence. This virtue is an ongoing exercise. It won't always be easy to stay composed when provoked or faced with injustice, but each conscious choice reinforces your inner light, preparing you for greater challenges. A virtuous response is also an act of self-love and respect for others, recognizing that actions have consequences and choosing to be a source of peace and balance, even amid chaos. When you respond with virtue, you embody what it means to live with purpose and integrity. Your inner light doesn't just survive adversity, it shines brighter, guiding your path and illuminating those around you. So the next time you feel the urge to react impulsively, pause, breathe, pause again, and choose a response aligned with your values. This decision not only preserves your inner peace, but transforms your life and environment. Responding with virtue is the Stoics' hallmark, the path to a life of balance, dignity, and fulfillment. It's on this path that your true light will grow and never be extinguished. 8. Confidence is not arrogance. Firmness is often mistaken for arrogance, but they are entirely different qualities. Arrogance stems from an inflated ego, from the desire to impose and dominate, from the need to display superiority in order to feel valued. Firmness, on the other hand, is the serene reflection of someone who knows their values and essence and is willing to defend them, without needing to belittle or attack others. This confusion between firmness and arrogance causes many people to fear taking a stand. They're afraid of seeming authoritarian, inflexible, or even aggressive, and so they give up their own truth to avoid conflict or rejection. But giving up firmness is giving up your light, that inner flame that needs clear boundaries to stay alive. The Stoics deeply valued firmness, as it represents self-mastery and an unwavering commitment to virtue and reason. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, taught that we must always act according to justice and reason, even when it displeases the majority or requires the courage to face adversity. Being firm does not mean shutting down dialogue or becoming rigid. On the contrary, firmness means being clear about who you are and what you stand for, while remaining open to listening, learning, and even changing your mind when reason or virtue call for it. It's the ability to set healthy boundaries, to say no without guilt, and to defend your convictions with respect and humility.
Imagine a strong tree that bends with the wind, but keeps its trunk sturdy and roots grounded. That's what true firmness looks like. Flexible enough to grow, but solid enough not to fall under external pressure. A firm person doesn't need to raise their voice, humiliate, or disrespect others to be heard. Their firmness radiates a powerful calm, a confidence that comes from self-knowledge and inner clarity. Arrogance, in contrast, is loud, anxious, constantly needing to assert itself to feel secure. It's a sign of insecurity, masked by false superiority. It's important not to confuse these two traits, as that confusion creates doubt and insecurity that hinder the authentic expression of yourself. Being firm is not being arrogant. It's being free, aware, and responsible for your own life. Firmness acts as a shield for your inner light. It keeps you from getting lost in others' opinions, social pressure, or the temptation to conform for approval. Without firmness, the need to be accepted can make you erase important parts of your essence, leaving your light fragile and unstable. Epictetus taught that true power lies in mastering oneself, in being the master of your own actions and emotions.
This ability shows itself, among other ways, in firmness of character and the courage to stay true to yourself, even when the world demands otherwise. Developing firmness takes practice, reflection, and self-awareness. You must know your values and principles deeply, understand what truly matters to you, and be willing to face the consequences of staying loyal to them. It won't always be easy. There will be temptations to give in or adapt to avoid confrontation or isolation. But each firm decision strengthens your integrity and your inner light. Over time, this practice grows deep roots that make your presence solid and inspiring. Living with firmness brings profound benefits: inner peace, self-confidence, self-respect, and the respect of others. You become a reference point for those seeking authenticity, courage, and balance. When your firmness is aligned with humility and respect, it creates an environment where true dialogue can flourish, and relationships become more genuine and lasting. Remember, firmness is not arrogance. It is the purest expression of your freedom, your authenticity, and your inner strength. Staying firm means keeping your light alive, a light that doesn't rely on approval, that withstands life's storms.
Enthusiasm is not just fleeting emotion, it's a vital force, a spark that fuels the courage to keep going. Even when the path is hard, it is the engine that powers personal transformation and sustains the pursuit of meaning and purpose. The Stoics recognized that the external world is unpredictable and often hostile, but the strength to move forward must come from within. Marcus Aurelius advised us always to remember what drives us, the spark that keeps the soul burning, even in the midst of storms. Many times people around us, out of fear, envy, or simple lack of understanding, try to dim our light. They may discourage our dreams, mock our ideas, or ignore our efforts. But letting these negative winds blow out your light is to give up your power. When someone tries to diminish your enthusiasm, they're actually trying to limit your ability to grow. Don't accept that. Your energy and passion are far too precious to be wasted seeking others' approval. In fact, genuine enthusiasm is contagious. When you keep your flame alive, you inspire people, create opportunities, and build bridges that once seemed unreachable. So, how do you maintain enthusiasm in the face of adversity? First, by cultivating a deep connection with your purpose. Knowing why you do what you do, and the values that guide your choices, makes your enthusiasm more resilient. Second, by learning to filter what reaches you. Not all criticism deserves attention, and not every opinion should influence your decisions. Wisdom lies in recognizing what builds and what destroys. Third, take care of your mental and emotional health. Enthusiasm runs out when the mind is tired, stressed, or overwhelmed. Moments of rest, reflection, and self-care are essential to renew your strength. Remember, the Stoic journey isn't defined by a lack of difficulties, but by the ability to keep the light burning despite them. Don't let the voices trying to dampen your spirit find space inside you. Protect your flame with firmness and self-love. When you keep your enthusiasm alive, you commit to your best self, the version that doesn't fade, that stays strong even against the wind. Each step taken with passion and purpose makes your light brighter, clearer, and more inspiring. Don't let anyone steal that from you. Your energy, your light, and your enthusiasm are gifts to be preserved and nurtured. So rise today with the certainty, no one will dim my enthusiasm. This decision keeps the flame burning and the path open to greatness. 10. Envy says more about them. Other people's envy does not belong to you. It's an ancient, powerful emotion that arises when someone sees in another what they desire or lack. It's a shadow many carry, a human reaction, yet toxic, causing suffering both for the one who envies and the one who's envied. That's why it's essential to understand. Others' envy is not your responsibility, nor should it affect your worth or inner peace. When you achieve something real, be it a milestone, a talent, or a state of mind, some around you may feel envy. Your light highlights the shadows they're trying to hide within themselves. Their reaction reveals more about their own state than about who you are. At its core, envy reflects personal dissatisfaction. It stems from constant comparison and an inner sense of lack, while you remain focused on growth, learning, and evolution. Those who envy are trapped in their own inner struggle. The Stoics taught that others' opinions should not govern our emotions or decisions. Marcus Aurelius said only our own minds can influence our passions, and we must cultivate tranquility no matter what happens outside. Therefore, don't carry the weight of another's envy as if it were yours. Doing so allows negative emotions to disturb your inner peace, making you vulnerable to assaults not grounded in your reality. It's a mistake to feel you must respond, prove yourself, or justify your success to someone consumed by envy. Recognizing that envy reflects the other person's fragility helps you maintain serenity. This doesn't mean ignoring the issue. It means choosing not to be tainted by it. Your energy should be devoted to your own growth, not pointless confrontations. Additionally, cultivating compassion can transform envy into understanding. Many who envy are stuck in their own pain and insecurity. Responding with empathy may open doors to reconciliation and peace, though setting healthy boundaries remains essential. Protecting yourself from envy means avoiding toxic relationships and refusing to let this emotion invade your self-esteem or influence your decisions. You don't need to carry a burden that isn't yours. Remember, your worth is independent of others' perceptions. You don't owe explanations to anyone, especially those consumed by envy. Your light is yours alone, and only you decide how brightly it shines. Once you embrace this truth, you free your mind and heart to focus on what truly matters: your purpose, growth, and happiness. Others' envy is a weight you don't have to bear. Let it go and continue on your path with lightness and confidence. True freedom lies in refusing to let anything external, even envy, define who you are. Your light is strong and unbreakable because it's born within you. It may face shadows and obstacles, but it will never be extinguished by those who live in darkness. So keep shining, regardless of how others feel or think. Your journey is yours, and the brightness you choose to carry is a beacon for those lost in the dark. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to be true to yourself. And that is your greatest victory. 11. Protect yourself from emotional noise. We live in an era where emotional noise is present in nearly every moment of our day. Social media, news, strong opinions, constant conflict. All of this creates an environment filled with stimuli that affect our minds and hearts. It's crucial that you learn to protect yourself from this noise to maintain clarity and inner peace. Emotional noise is anything that disturbs your tranquility without adding real value to your life. It can be an unnecessary argument, a negative comment, repeated news, or even your own excessive worries. When we allow that noise to dominate our minds, we lose focus on what truly matters. The Stoics teach us that while we can't control what happens outside, we have total control over how we react. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them." This reminder calls us to care for the quality of our thoughts and emotions. Protecting yourself from emotional noise means setting clear boundaries on what you let into your mental and emotional field. It means learning to filter information, choose your battles wisely, and know when to step away from toxic people or situations. Practicing internal silence is also a powerful way to protect yourself. When you find moments of calm and reflection, it becomes easier to distinguish what deserves your attention and what is just noise draining your energy. Another vital aspect is developing emotional awareness, recognizing your emotions without being controlled by them. This awareness is essential for maintaining balance amid external chaos. Often, we react impulsively because we don't pay attention to how we feel. Cultivating this awareness lets you choose more constructive, wise responses. Furthermore, caring for your body and mind reinforces your resilience against emotional noise. Practices like meditation, exercise, and healthy nutrition contribute to a clearer mind and a calmer heart. Also remember that constant comparison and the need for approval amplify internal noise. Anchoring yourself in values and purpose makes you less vulnerable to external influence. Protecting yourself from emotional noise is an act of self-love and responsibility. It means caring for your peace so you can act with clarity, focus, and courage. Each time you keep your mind free from this noise, your inner light strengthens. You become more resilient, more centered, and more capable of facing any challenge. Don't let emotional noise pull you away from virtue and growth. Be selective about what you feed your mind and heart. Cultivate serenity, focus, and wisdom so your light continues to shine brightly, no matter what happens around you. 12. What you do when no one is watching reveals your true self. The essence of your character is revealed in the actions you take when no one is watching. It's not about what you do to impress others, nor about what's visible to the world. It's the small, silent choices, the intimate and discreet decisions that define who you truly are. The Stoics valued this inner coherence, this constant practice of living according to one's values, regardless of any audience. To them, virtue was not a performance, but a daily commitment, a quiet construction of the soul. Being honest and upright, when no one is looking, is the foundation of a genuine life and of a light that cannot be extinguished. It's easy to do the right thing under watchful eyes, with the pressure of society and a natural desire for approval. But the real test lies in those unseen moments, when no one expects anything from you, when the world isn't watching, and you can choose the easier path or the path of virtue. When you practice integrity in these invisible moments, you are building an inner fortress. This solid base will support your actions in more challenging situations, where the temptation to stray is stronger. The alignment between who you are in public and in private is what makes your light real and unshakable. In today's world, seeking external validation is a common addiction. We all enjoy being recognized, admired, and valued, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if your self-worth depends solely on others' approval, you become vulnerable and unstable. When your value comes from what you do when you're alone, your inner peace becomes invincible. You no longer need validation to feel complete because you know your truth. That inner autonomy is one of the greatest achievements a human being can reach. Acting with integrity when no one is watching is also an exercise in discipline and self-awareness. It's learning to master your impulses, to resist momentary temptations, and to choose what's right, even when no one will ever know. This practice strengthens your mind, your character, and your inner light. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, wrote that the soul must be just as pure and firm in solitude as in front of a crowd. This teaching invites us to cultivate deep consistency, one that does not waver based on praise or rejection. In that consistency lies true freedom. When you internalize this truth, your actions stop being performances and become authentic expressions of your being. Your light begins to shine on its own because it's the result of sincerity and a commitment to yourself. And this authentic posture also positively impacts your relationships. People can sense when someone is truly integral. That respect is natural and lasting. You become a reference point for authenticity, a silent example that inspires without needing a single word. So, invest in what you do in silence, in what the world does not see. Those actions are what build your true legacy and strengthen the inner flame no one can extinguish. Remember, what you do when no one is watching is what truly defines who you are. Cultivate this coherence, and your light will be strong, steady, and true, illuminating not only your life, but also the lives of those fortunate enough to cross your path. I sincerely hope this message was useful to you. I want to congratulate you for making it this far and completing the video. That means you truly wish to grow as a person. If you liked the video, leave a comment. If you're not sure what to write, just type gratitude, and I'll know you watched until the end. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and join us as we share many teachings like this that are applicable to everyday life. So, I encourage you to continue learning about this and other philosophies. Here's another video filled with historical wisdom to help you keep growing. See you in the next video.